Why did QR codes take off in China a decade ago, but not in the West until a pandemic forced us to use them? Why is Norway miles ahead in electric vehicle adoption while the US still clings to gas powered trucks? And why did TikTok explode globally while Vine, which had nearly the same technology, quietly died out? The answer is cultural lag. Technology can move at lightning speed, but culture, the values, the norms, the laws, the habits that shape everyday life takes far longer to catch up. Hi, I'm Akanksha and this is The Storyteller's Lens. So today we are unpacking the psychology and sociology of cultural lag. Why the same product can thrive in one society but flop in another. We'll trace its origins in sociology, explore real world case studies from Kenya to Norway to TikTok, and end with a practical playbook for how marketers can time launches, frame narratives, and build adoption strategies that align not just with technology but with culture. So let's start with what it is. The term cultural lag was coined in 1922 by the sociologist William F. Ogburn. He defined it as the mismatch between material culture, the technologies, tools, and products we invent, and non material culture, the values, beliefs, laws, and institutions that adapt much more slowly. In plain words, tech moves fast, but culture catches up slow. Ogburn's own example was the car. Automobiles spread quickly in the early 20th century, but traffic laws, driving etiquettes, and road infrastructure lagged years behind, creating chaos until society adjusted. Since Ogburn, researchers have expanded the idea. Everett Rogers' diffusion of innovations described adoption as a curve. Innovators, early adopters, early and late majorities, and laggards. He showed that adoption depends on social systems, communication channels, and cultural values just as much as on product features. Cross cultural research like Hofstede's cultural dimension helps explain why some societies adopt faster. High uncertainty avoidance cultures like Japan or France are slower with risky, ambiguous technologies. Individualistic societies like the US or UK adopt expressive consumer tech quickly. Collectivist cultures wait for group validation before mass uptake. And in consumer psychology, we know people need visible social proof before they adopt. Novelty feels risky until trusted peers, leaders, or institutions normalize it. So let's look at some numbers. In Kenya, mobile money through M-Pesa launched in 2007. Within a decade, it reached over 96% of households. Kenya leapfrogged traditional banking because mobile money met urgent cultural and economic needs. By contrast, the US, with far more financial infrastructure, lagged behind in mobile payments. The culture of checks and credit cards slowed adoption. Smartphone adoption shows the same gap. By 2019, 81% of adults in the US owned a smartphone. In India, it was closer to 30%. Not just an income gap, but cultural and infrastructural lag. Electric vehicles illustrate the divide powerfully. In 2023, Norway passed 80% market share for new EV sales, thanks to policies and a cultural commitment to environmentalism. In the US, it was just 7.6%. And then there is a social media. TikTok hit a billion users in under 5 years. Facebook took nearly a decade. Vine, which launched earlier, failed because the cultural conditions, creator economies, algorithm discovery, and short form attention spans weren't there yet. Cultural lag is not just a big picture idea. You see it in small consumer behavior every day. Take QR codes. In China, they became mainstream for payments and social interaction years ago. In the West, they were dismissed as clunky until COVID reframed them as hygienic and contactless or contactless payments. In the UK, tapping cards became normal after 2015. In the US, it lagged until 2020, slowed by attachment to cash and checks. Streaming shows a similar divide. In the US and Europe, people cut cable quickly. In India, linear television still dominates because it fits Cultural family viewing habits. Even food choices reflect cultural lag. Plant based meat gained fast traction in the US with Beyond and Impossible Foods. But in Asia, adoption was slower, except in Buddhist influenced regions where meat free traditions already existed. So let's zoom in on a few case studies. M-Pesa in Kenya. This wasn't just about technology, it worked because culture, trust networks, lack of banking access, and openness to mobile aligned perfectly with the need. It spread faster than Western mobile banking because it solved a cultural pain point. QR codes in China versus West. In China, QR codes became status neutral and universal, used by street vendors and luxury boutiques alike. In the West, they were ignored until the pandemic reframed them as modern, safe, and hygienic. Crisis accelerated cultural catch up. EV adoption in Norway versus the US. Norway's culture of environmentalism and government incentives produced extraordinary adoption. In the US, car culture, infrastructure gaps, and political polarization slowed it dramatically. TikTok versus Vine. Vine failed in 2016. TikTok thrived in 2020 with almost the same tech. What changed wasn't the product, but the culture, shorter attention spans, better algorithms, and a booming creator economy. So, what does this mean for brands? Here is the playbook. First, map cultural readiness. Don't just ask, is the technology ready? Ask, is the culture ready? Use tools like Hofstede's dimension or adoption research to anticipate lag. Second, leverage authority and social proof. In high uncertainty avoidance cultures, adoption accelerates when endorsed by governments, celebrities, or institutions. Third, localize your strategy. The same product needs different narratives. QR codes in China were about status neutrality. In the West, they became about hygiene. Fourth, frame products as solution to cultural pain. M-Pesa didn't market itself as innovation. It solved the problem of no banks. Fifth, bridge generations. Younger cohorts often lead. TikTok started with teens, then spread to parents. And sixth, design for leapfrogging. In emerging markets, don't retrofit old infrastructure. Go mobile first, renewable first, or AI first. Leapfrogging cultures often adopt faster when the fit is right. Of course, there are risks. Number one is overestimating readiness. Google Glass failed partly because cultural norms around privacy lagged. Number two is cultural backlash. In the US, EV adoption is slowed by politicization. It's not just about cars, it's about identity. Number three is digital divides. When one group adopts fast and another lags, inequality widens. So, what do we learn from cultural lag? That technology adoption is never just about availability. It's about fit with values, norms, and identity. Societies adopt at different speeds because culture, not tech, sets the pace. Smart brands know this. They launch when culture is ready. They frame products in ways that solve cultural pains. And they seed adoption with the right identity groups to accelerate norm shifts. The result? Products that spread like wildfire in one place and barely spark in another. In marketing, the golden rule is this: tech diffusion is cultural. Brands win by reading not just the market, but the culture. Hi, I'm Akanksha, and this is The Storyteller's Lens. If you enjoyed this breakdown of cultural lag, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of consumer behavior and marketing. And let me ask you, what's one technology you think your culture isn't ready for yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I would love to hear them. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.